Welcome, family. Welcome to another episode in the Matrix series. Today we'll be talking about Jeffrey Epstein. Before we get to that, I just like to say, don't be bamboozled. The deep state is the reptilian or Atlantean kingdom, and they're in alliance with the shadow government, which is the demonic kingdom. So don't be fooled. The Democrats and the reptilian Republicans, or they might be reversed, using one name but being something else. But they're all in alliance with each other. So don't be fooled. Okay, so let's get into this. We're talking about Jeffrey Epstein. Now, before I called him the White Rabbit, but after doing some research, I figured out that he's not the White Rabbit at all. The White Rabbit is really Hillary Clinton, and he is what's the Cheshire Cat. Now, both of those characters are from Alice in Wonderland, and we're going to find out finding out what the Matrix really is finding out that Wonderland, or the Atlantean kingdom, is basically in control of the surface of the planet. And so that's what the Matrix really is, dealing with that reality. Okay, so I'm going to do some reading here about Mr. Jeffrey Epstein, who is either dead. His physical body is dead, but I believe he was either a reptilian hybrid or he was demonically possessed, in which means that his physical body is dead, but that spiritual entity is still living. So let's get into Jeffrey Epstein here. By the way, the White Rabbit, Hillary Clinton, is connected to Jeffrey Epstein, and she connects to the NXIVM, Clifton Park, New York, sex trafficking cult. And we're going to get into later about what sex trafficking is all about and what that really means. Okay. We're going to start off with an article by Town and Country magazine. And it says, princes and presidents and billionaires and celebrities all seem to be in Jeffrey Epstein's web. Yet the only one who seems to be paying a price is Peggy Siegel. It goes on to say that she just invited him to parties. This was said by Friedman. And most people say she has an abrasive personality and transactional attitude to relationships. Peggy Siegel made a lot of enemies and snubbed a lot of people, and now there's payback, says one New York-based producer. So this Peggy Siegel, a lot of her previous contracts have been canceled by people like Netflix and other people who were using her before because of her affiliation and promotion of Jeffrey Epstein. And we're going to find out why she's been punished, because Jeffrey Epstein has turned out to be the Cheshire Cat, the weak link in exposing the Underworld, the Matrix, the Atlantean, the reptilian kingdom, and its alliance to the demonic realm or demonic kingdom. Okay. So we're going to go on. We find out that Jeffrey Epstein had a lot of, he was really unknown before he got a job working at a prestigious uh, school in New York, in Manhattan. And then he was, this school was called the Dalton School on the Upper East Side of Manhattan. He was teaching physics and math. A lot of people said he was a whiz. So of course you can be a whiz if you're a reptilian hybrid or you're demonically possessed, because both of these sides represent a highly intelligent and a highly um, evolved species. So that's understandable. One of the first things that a demonic entity or reptilian or hybrid species would do once on the surface is to take ground. So this is why real estate is so important. These beings, these entities begin to buy up a lot of real estate for control. It's called taking ground in the religious world, or the Germans called it Lebensraum. So you can look those terms up. And he had places in Manhattan, a 50,000 square foot Manhattan, which had a 15-foot door. Now, can you imagine what is 15 feet tall? I'll just leave that there. He also had a Santa Fe, New Mexico ranch, a Caribbean island in the U.S. Virgin Islands, a Paris apartment, and a Palm Beach, Florida mansion. Coincidentally, the address of the Palm Beach, Florida mansion was 358, and above it was a statue of a gargoyle, which is a reptilian-like being. So I'll leave that there with that. Now, he met Ace Greenberg, who offered him a job at Bear Stearns. And they said he was dealing with wealthier clients, helping them with their overall portfolios. Then Leslie Wexner, founder of Limited Brands and owner of Victoria's Secrets, made him his financial advisor. And Jeffrey Epstein said, "I want people to understand the power, the responsibility, and the burden of their money. At times his power seemed magical," people said. "I think it's all done with mirrors," said Chicago businessman Michael Stroll. He plays 26 hours a day. Now, 2-6 is 66. 6 times 6 is 36. We're talking 3 sixes is the mark of the beast. So we'll leave that there. Okay, so I'm going to jump ahead because a lot of this other stuff you can find out on your own. March 2005, a stepmom of a 14-year-old girl called the police department in Palm Beach, saying that her daughter possibly was molested by a wealthy older man. She went to school with $300, and the stepmom wanted to know where she got the money. So it all came out, and he was that's when he became on the radar. Now, the police started to do an investigation, and they found out that it was a large net, and I call it the demon reptilian net. It was a wide net that went through all of the malls and community colleges, Olive Garden restaurants, and trailer parks, asking for skinny, beautiful young girls by other girls who worked for Epstein, who said that they could make $200 by massaging a wealthy man naked. He said the younger the better, and she said that meant girls from 18 to 20. Now, 18 also is 3 sixes, so you take that as it is. A couple of girls went all the way. One said she was with him 50 times. Another said hundreds of times. Both with sex with Epstein and Nada Marchinkova, who was then 19 years old. And Epstein says she was a sex slave and that he purchased her from her family in Yugoslavia. So I'm at the 10-minute mark. We're going to continue with part 2 in the next phase, and stay tuned. It's going to get a lot hotter and a lot deeper.